President Trump has made 5 changes to Social Security this year in 2025. And while those 5 changes are significant themselves, they pale compared to what is planned for 2026. Because in 2026, there is plans for a Social Security increase, but also there is proposals on the table to actually extend the solvency of Social Security, meaning that if you've heard Social Security Trust Fund going bankrupt, there's actually plans to fix that. So that is what this video is about. I'm going to walk you through in detail what those Social Security increase proposals look like, and then talk about the 5 proposals that have been presented to the president to fix Social Security. 3 of them may surprise you. So, my name is Kwame Kwade. I have been helping seniors get the government benefits they deserve, retirement benefits, specifically Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, food stamps. I've been doing this for 15 years. So, if you are new here, thank you for being here. I really appreciate you. Do me a favor, go into the comment section and let me know your city and your state. If you've been watching my content for a while, welcome back. I am grateful for you. So let's get to the big news. So let me set the stage with recent news that have come about that is pushing all of these changes that are going to happen in 2026. So the first news that I think made the headlines is this Fox Business report that says that um, Social Security confidence has hit a 15-year low as younger Americans lose faith in the system. Well, why are younger people losing faith in the system? Well, maybe this has something to do with it because CNBC published an article that says, will Social Security run out? Here's what happens to your benefit. As if that was not enough, there was another report by Investopedia, that says that should I be saving for retirement as though Social Security would not exist? So if you've been paying attention to the media, there is a lot of fear around Social Security. And a recent report came out that says that Social Security confidence is at an all-time low. In fact, only 35% of people are confident that Social Security is going to be around. And so the question is, why are they worried? I'm going to explain that. And then what can be done about it? Those are the proposals that are in front of the president. 5 big proposals to fix Social Security, 2 proposals to increase Social Security. That's what I'm going to explain to you. This video, this live broadcast is sponsored by our friends at Chapter Medicare. If you are one of the 2,000 people that have called Chapter and gotten into a better Medicare plan, congratulations. If you haven't yet, I'm going to tell you more about how you can save $1,100 on your Medicare bill and also get into a better plan for this year. Now, let's get to the news of the day. So I'm going to share with you my screen and walk you through some of the reasons why all this doom and gloom is happening and the 5 big proposals in front of the president to fix it. So I'm going to go to Kiplinger because I think they did a good job just explaining the situation, and then we'll talk about the president's proposal. So here is Kiplinger saying that how to save Social Security, pay more taxes or cut benefits. So these proposals to save Social Security may require big changes. That's what they're saying. But a survey shows Americans want politicians to act. Are you willing to pay more taxes? So that is what Kiplinger is saying. And look at that image. It just shows, if you want to portray a vivid picture of what's happening with Social Security, this is probably the best way to do it. And that's the fear that is around Social Security right now, that cuts are on the way. And that fear is not unfounded because the Social Security Trust Fund came up with a recent report that says that in 2032, they will have to cut Social Security benefits by up to 25%. That is if Congress does nothing. So we're going to talk about what the president wants to do. But here, let's read a little bit from Kiplinger here. It says, finding ways to save Social Security is at the top of many Americans' minds, and for good reason. The program, which provides a safety net for over 70 million Americans, is facing a financial shortfall If nothing is done by 2035, well, the government now says it's 2032, it could run out of money in its trust fund. That will force a 17% reduction. Now they say it's 25%. So why? Let me explain some background information here. The Social Security Trust Fund is the rainy day fund. So when they say Social Security is going bankrupt, it doesn't mean that there will be zero money in the account. It just means that the rainy day fund is going to run out of money. Why is it important to care about the rainy day fund? Well, because right now, less people are contributing to Social Security than ever before. And in the meantime, more people are claiming Social Security benefits than ever before. So let's look at Kiplinger, and they have some ideas on why this is happening. So I'm going to share my screen again and walk you through that. So there are many reasons that Social Security is in trouble, but changing demographic is the primary one. The chart below demonstrates that Americans' aging population means fewer younger workers are paying into the system per retiree, which with the trend gaining steam over the next 2 decades. So essentially, it used to be that there were 5 people working, paying into Social Security to support every single retiree, 5 to 1. Now that number has dropped drastically, and that's what Kiplinger is talking about. Another factor exacerbating the shortfall is the recent adoption. Let me go back to my screen. Is the recent adoption of the Social Security Fairness Act. This program will increase Social Security checks for 3.2 million workers who receive public pension. It is projected to hasten the shortfall by 6 months if Congress does nothing to shore up Social Security. So, even though the Social Security Fairness Act was a good thing, helping people who for 40 years have been fighting to get the benefits that they deserve, it is still money coming out of the Social Security pot. And so if that money comes out, which it will, then it shortens the solvency of the Social Security Trust Fund by 6%, by 6 months. And so now we are at 2032. So 2032 is when, if nothing is done by Congress at all, Social Security is going to see up to a 25% cut. So I mentioned to you some of the reasons why this is happening, and part of it is a demographic issue. And I've talked about this in past videos, but the graph I'm about to show you paints a clearer picture of why it's important to do something now and why the president and Congress are planning on doing something in 2026, which I'll talk about in a second. But here is the graph they are talking about. So let me put that up in the screen. So as the population ages, fewer workers will be paying taxes to support each Social Security beneficiary. Now, here is where there's a lot of misunderstanding and confusion around Social Security. So let me explain. Social Security is a pay-as-you-go system. It means that people that are working right now are paying benefits for retirees. Yes, you've paid into the system, but the money you paid at the time you were paying it was going towards paying retirement benefits for those who were retiring at the time you were paying into the system. And so now that it's your turn, people who are paying into Social Security now are paying for your retirement. That is how the system was designed. It has been this way forever. So if anybody is telling you anything different, that is not true. Social Security is a pay-as-you-go system. So when you look at this chart right here, which I'm sharing with you, let me try to make it a little bit bigger so that you can see. So when you look at this chart, it is showing you what's happening, one of the problems that's happening right now. In 1964, there was 4 workers to every retiree. That has progressively gone down. And so in 2024, there is now 2.7 workers supporting every retiree. That is a problem. Why? Because at the same time, more people are claiming Social Security than ever. So you have less people paying into the system and more people claiming benefits than ever. So there's a gap. That gap is $200 billion a year. $200 billion a year is what has to be made up. But luckily, there is the Social Security Trust Fund. Over the years, when there was surpluses, when more people were paying into the system than were taking out, the extra money was put into the trust fund and invested in government bonds. There are special US government bonds that were created just for Social Security. And so that money was invested in government bonds, earning interest, etc., etc. So that trust fund has about $1.8 trillion in it. So now that there's a deficit where less people are paying and more people are taking out, they take the difference out of the trust fund. It's like the rainy day fund. So now it's rainy day, it's raining. Well, we need to go into the rainy day fund, and they've been dipping into the rainy day fund for quite a while now. And so that rainy day fund is projected to run out of money completely at the current rate by 2032. So that is what we're talking about fixing here. So let me read a little bit to you from what Kiplinger is saying regarding plans to fix Social Security. So, save Social Security by reducing costs, boosting revenue. Those are the two options available if you want to save Social Security. You can either boost revenue, how much money is coming into the system, or you can slow down how much money is leaving the system. Like bring in more money or slow down how much money is leaving. Those are the two ways, or do a little bit of both. And so the ideas you're about to hear are the ideas that are available to the president and to Congress next year. And those are the ideas that are being considered. And I'm going to break them down for you in this post. So take the US Government Accountability Office ideas for starters. Issued last summer, the GAO calls for a combination of improving finances and raising payroll taxes. So this is the US government itself coming up with a proposal on what they think should be done to fix this issue. And they're saying do a little bit of both. Bring in more money and slow down how much money is going out. So let's explain what those ideas mean specifically. So here it is saying that the way the GAO sees it, reducing program costs could be achieved by changing eligibility requirements and benefit amounts. So that is it. And so here is the big deal. Pushing the full retirement age out further. So the first idea, which I think is a terrible idea, is to increase the retirement age. Why do I think it's a terrible idea? Because for two reasons. Number one, seniors have been working for a long time. You've been working 35, 40 years, paying into a system, and then now you have to wait an extra couple of years to get the full benefits you've paid for. So that's one. Number two, when they increase the retirement age, it affects lower income workers more. Why? Because they are typically in more labor intensive jobs, hard labor jobs that, decreases their life expectancy. So if you are telling somebody that already, worked in some hard labor manual jobs and now probably has some issues as a result. I've seen a lot of people who work in these jobs then have to go on disability or they have health issues. And so then you tell them to wait until age 70 to get their Social Security, all the money. That's not going to fly with a lot of people. But the data shows that low income people have a lower life expectancy because sometimes, for many, many reasons, but part of it is also some of the jobs are hard labor jobs. And so putting that cap in and saying, oh, wait till age 70, it means that you're cheating people out of their money. So that's the reason why this one is a terrible idea. So anybody that wants to increase the retirement age, but here's the thing. Let me explain. People have good reasons to want to increase the retirement age. And I want to explain to you why. The first one is that people are living longer. The average person, the average American who hits age 65 will live another 20 years. Previously, in a few decades ago, if you hit age 65, you only lived another 14 years. Now you live on average 20 years. So people are living 6 years longer. That's a big deal because Social Security was not designed to pay benefits for that long. So reasonably, somebody could be in retirement for 20, 25 years when they start collecting Social Security. So that's a problem. So that's one reason. Number two, people are working longer. Retirement is not what it used to be. I mean, I hear it all the time. People retire at age 62, 63. They stop working and they get bored, and then they go back to work just to keep their mind fresh and just to keep their mind sharp. And so the longer you work, you're paying into Social Security, and so people delay claiming that benefit. So there's valid reasons for increasing the Social Security retirement age. I think it's a terrible idea because I think people in the low income group are the ones that get impacted by it the most because their benefits get stretched out. They don't get a long time to enjoy what they've paid into. I mean, if you've worked 35, 40 years paying into a system, when you're ready to retire, you want to retire. And if you decide to go back to work, that is your decision, not because the government is forcing you to remain in work further to collect your benefits. So that's the first idea, increasing the full retirement age from 67 to 69 or 70 years to claim your full benefits. Terrible idea. Let's look at the second proposal. But now let's look at, the second proposal is to increase the payroll tax. I think that has a good chance of passing because it has overwhelming support from Republicans and Democrats, and it's going to be across the board, and it's going to be done over a 6-year period. So what do I mean by that? Well, currently Social Security is funded by payroll taxes, 6.2% employee, 6.2% matching from employer for a combined 12.4%. Well, the idea is to increase that to 16%, 4% point, 16.4%. So a 4% point increase over 6-year period. If you do that and that's all you did, that's enough to fix the problem. But here's the thing, that is a tax increase across the board for anybody that is on paying Social Security taxes. So if you know how Washington works, there's a lot of constituents that are going to not want to do that. But it's a very popular idea from seniors. So hold on, let me show you the evidence. So I'm going to share my screen and let you know that seniors actually like this idea of increasing the tax rate. So let me go all the way to the bottom. And do Americans want to pay higher payroll taxes? Well, Kiplinger asked. Increasing payroll taxes typically raises the ire of Americans. That's true. That's what I just said. After all, who wants to pay more to the government? Well, it turns out that, at least according to the survey by the National Academy of Science Insurance, AARP, the National Institute on Retirement Society, and the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, 85% of Americans are on board. Guys, this is a big, big sample of groups. All these organizations came together and did a survey, including the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, which is a very conservative organization, and 85% of Americans are on board with increasing the payroll tax. The survey found that Americans value Social Security across party lines, generations, income, and education. They see it as an essential piece of their retirement security. Of those polled, only 4% said it would be important to their income when retired. Moreover, an overwhelming majority are willing to pay more taxes if it could save Social Security. 85% say we would ensure benefits are not reduced, even if it means raising taxes on Americans. The most strongly preferred of all options tested is eliminating the cap on payroll tax contribution for those earning more than $400,000 a year. So let me explain that. Remember, I was saying that the way to fix Social Security is to bring in more money or slow down how much money is going out. Well, increasing the payroll tax is going to bring in more money. But the other idea to bring in more money is to remove the cap. This is one of the, I think, in my opinion, the best way to fix the problem. And in my opinion, what should be done is eliminate the payroll tax cap. So what that means is that currently, if you make a certain amount of money or make above a certain amount of money, you don't pay taxes on Social Security on that money that is above the limit. Last year, the limit was 168,200, I believe. This year is 176,100. It means that if you make 176,100 or less, all that income is subject to Social Security taxes. Anything above that limit is not taxed for Social Security purposes. And so what happens is that over time, as people are making more money and the percentage of Americans making more money than 176,100 has dramatically increased, you are not seeing the benefit of that money coming into the Social Security system. And so when you have a situation where less people are paying into Social Security than before, and more people are claiming benefits than before, how do you close the gap? Well, why don't you just make everybody pay Social Security taxes on all their income and keep the tax rate at where it is? So keep the tax rate at 6.2% and let everybody pay taxes on their Social Security taxes on all their income, not just wage income, but all forms of income. By doing that, you will save Social Security for a very long time, 75 years to be exact. And so that is the most popular of the ideas. So the idea is that anybody making more than $400,000 will pay Social Security taxes on that. So there will be a two-tier Social Security tax system. The first 176,400, the first 176,100, you will pay taxes on anything you make up to that. And then if you make more than 400,000, you pay taxes on anything above that. So there's something in the middle called the donut hole, and they're hoping that over time, inflation will close the donut hole gap so that eventually there'll even be no gap and everybody will pay taxes on all their income. But right now, that's the system they're proposing. 176,100 as of 2025, you pay Social Security taxes, and then about 400,000, you pay Social Security taxes. That 400,000 number is probably going to affect maybe 5% of the population, 5% of wage earners. So it's very popular, as I mentioned. So in the article I just shared with you, that is why that idea is so popular. Additionally, Americans across all groups, including majority of Republicans, say they are willing to pay more themselves by gradually increasing the payroll tax to strengthen the program's finances. So essentially, Americans are in favor of doing both. They are in favor of increasing the payroll tax and also eliminating the cap. If you do both of those things, you are going to secure Social Security for a very long time, probably 100 years. And so that is where that is. So you can either slow down how much money is coming out by increasing the retirement age, or you can slow down how much money is going out by cutting out cost of living adjustment. I know that's not going to fly with a lot of seniors because COLA, even if it's 2.5%, is still coming out of the Social Security pot. And so if you want to slow down how much money is going out of the pot, you can eliminate or slow down how much COLA people are getting. But COLA is already so low, seniors are already complaining that it's making them fall behind. And so eliminating COLA or reducing it even further is not going to fly. So I think that anything to slow down how much money is coming out of the system is not going to be a good idea. The third way to slow down how much money is coming out is to means test Social Security. It means that regardless of how much you've paid, if you're in the higher income category, you get less Social Security. If you're in the lower income category, you get more Social Security. But in the end, more money is left in the system than is currently going out. That's called means testing. It's based on your income and not how much you've contributed. I don't think a lot of people are going to like that. And so all the ideas to slow down money coming out of the Social Security fund are not popular. The ideas about bringing in more money in through increasing the payroll tax, through removing the cap, are the most popular ideas. So those are the 5 ideas that are in front of the president right now and Congress. And I'm telling you this because there are bills already out there, and I'm going to share one of them with you that are trying to do some of these things right now. But before I talk about Social Security increases that are likely to happen this year and into next year, I want to share with you one thing that we launched recently that I think seniors have been asking for. And so we went ahead and did it. So, but before that, let's talk about Chapter Medicare. So I said in the beginning of this broadcast that our partner chapter have been helping seniors get into a better Medicare plan. And every time I talk about this, I think people don't understand the importance of being in a good Medicare plan. Why is that important? Well, in your lifetime, you are going to get more money paid on your behalf by Medicare than you're going to get in Social Security check. Cost of healthcare is very high. And the worst thing is to not be in the right plan and needing coverage and then have to pay things out of pocket that you didn't plan on paying. And so our partners at chapter, here's what they will do for you. When you call the number you see on the screen, they are going to do 2 things. Number one, they are going to look at your current Medicare plan and see if you are in the right plan. If you are, they will tell you. If you're not, then they will help you get into a better plan. Why is that important? Because there are 24,000 Medicare plans out there, and some of them are location specific. So they are based on where you live. Some of these plans are based on where you live, and a lot of plans are being canceled. A lot of plans are being reduced. A lot of doctor networks and hospital networks are being dropped from different plans. So there's a lot of movement happening, and it's so hard to keep up. Let the people who keep up with these things get you into a better plan, because the worst thing is going for care and realizing that the coverage you thought you had is gone because the provider that you had before have moved things around and the network you were supposed to be in is no longer available to you. We've heard those stories over and over again. So over 2,000 of our viewers from this channel have already worked with Chapter and have gotten help in fixing their Medicare plan. And you could be next, or you should be next, because these guys, their opinion is unbiased, it is free, and is designed to get you into a better plan. So call the number on your screen, 539-205-2147. Agents are standing by today to help you, or I'm going to put a form in the description of this video and in the comments. I'm going to pin it to the comments. There's a little form you can fill out. It takes just 1 or 2 minutes, and then Chapter will then reach out to you at a time that is convenient for you and help you get into the right plan, or check your current plan and make sure that you are in the right plan. So that is our partner Chapter. Give them a call. Now, let's talk about Social Security increases. So that is a topic that has been on a lot of minds of seniors, especially this year when leading up to the big, beautiful bill. There's a lot of hope, or was a lot of hope, that seniors were going to get an increase in their Social Security benefits, just as politicians have promised for quite a while now. And so there was great expectation that that was what was going to happen. And now it's been matched with great disappointment. So why is there great disappointment? Because half of seniors do not qualify for the tax deductions that are in the big, beautiful bill. And so there are ideas to fix that. to give you an increase this year. And there are two of them that I'm excited about that I want to share with you. The first one is a bill that is already in Congress, which I'm going to show you right now, that is designed to increase Social Security benefits by $200. Now, you may be thinking, well, it's $200. What am I going to do with $200? Well, it is designed to help take care of seniors who have feel like they've lost money due to inflation, and so it's supposed to catch you up to the money that you've lost due to inflation. So this is the bill. It's called the Social Security Expansion Act. This is the Senate version of it. There is also a House version. So it is in both chambers of Congress. And this is the Senate version. And it is designed to do, among other things, increase your Social Security benefits by $200. But I'm going to go to a section that talks about what the bill actually is designed to do. And there are a couple of things that they're going to be doing. Number one is give you an increase, $200 increase. Number two, the people who are getting the minimum Social Security benefit, if you are currently getting $800 in Social Security, $900 in Social Security, $1,000, even up to $1,200, this bill will boost your benefits by $660, up to $660. So what that means is that they want to make sure that any senior citizen that is living in poverty, according to the government, will get a boost in their Social Security benefit to 125% of the federal poverty level. So, what is the federal poverty level? Well, it is a chart that the government releases every year that shows who they think is living in poverty based on your income. So, I'm going to share with you the federal poverty screen, the data, and then walk you through it. So, this is the chart, and it is the federal poverty level of 2025. This chart is released every year by the US government to show, based on household size, who they think is living in poverty. Now, why is this important? Well, it's important because this is the chart that they use to determine various government programs. If you're applying for SNAP benefits, food stamps, if you're applying for heat and energy assistance, if you're applying for Medicaid, all these programs, the safety net programs, are built around the federal poverty level data. So when you apply some of these, especially when you look at Medicaid expansion, Medicaid expansion is based on 138% of the federal poverty level. It means that if you make less than 138% of the federal poverty level that year, you qualify if your state has expanded Medicaid. So that number is important because it is used to determine a lot. If you're applying for phone, there's a free government phone called the Lifeline. And if you're applying for the Lifeline program as a senior, they will use the same thing. They will tell you if your income is based on 165% of the federal poverty level, you qualify for Lifeline. So it is a benchmark. Essentially, that's what I'm saying. It is a benchmark in determining government benefits program. So now that I've told you that, let me tell you what in 2025 the US government considers as poverty for a single person. It is $15,000, if I can read correctly, $650. $15,650. So let's see. Let's divide that by 12, and then we can see how much you should be making in Social Security to be above that. So 15,650 divided by 12, it means that if you are making less than $1,300 in Social Security benefits, according to the US government, you are living in poverty. $1,300 a month in Social Security, you are living in poverty. Why should you care? Why is that data important? That brings me to what I was talking about earlier. The bill that I shared with you is going to do, among other things, put the minimum Social Security benefit at 125% of the federal poverty level. So that means that today, if you are getting the minimum benefit or making less than that, you are going to get an increase, and your Social Security benefit is going to jump from what it is today to about $18,500. So on average, that will give you about a $660 boost for those getting the minimum benefit. That is one of the things that I think is so important in this bill. In addition to trying to increase Social Security benefits across the board for Social Security and disability by $200, it is also going to elevate millions of seniors out of poverty. And it will stay that way because it's going to be 125% of the federal poverty level. So each year, when the federal poverty numbers are updated, your benefit is adjusted to make sure that it's 125% of the federal poverty level. So that is the second thing that this bill is going to be doing. Increase your Social Security by $200, boost Social Security for people who are making the minimum or living below poverty. The third thing it's going to do is what I think a lot of people have been hoping for years. And finally, we have a bill that would do it, which is fix how your Social Security cost of living is calculated. So this bill is going to help do that. And how is it going to do it? Well, I'm going to tell you in a second, but I want to locate exactly where it says that so that I can share it with you. But what is going to do is that um, it is going to change the calculation of the annual cost of living adjustment called the COLA. I am going to search it very quickly so that I can tell you exactly where it is. So bear with me for a second because I want to make sure I'm going to the right place. COLA, there we go. Okay. All right, there we go. So here's what they're going to do. They are going to change the calculation of the cost of living adjustment from the current CPI W to CPI E. Now, let me explain what that means. So currently, if you've been paying attention or you are very knowledgeable about Social Security benefits, the cost of living adjustment is based on an inflation index. Now, what that means is that the government is tracking a list of goods and services, and each year in the third quarter, July, August, September, they track the prices of those goods and services, and then they compare it to the previous year. If prices have gone up, your Social Security benefits are adjusted up. If prices have gone down, your Social Security remains the same because by law, they cannot, even if there's deflation, by law, they cannot adjust your benefits down. Your benefits can only go up or stay the same. And so if prices have gone down in some years, I think 2010, 2011, 2016, there was 0% increase in Social Security because those were years where prices went down. And then in years where price stays the same, your benefit stays the same. So your benefits either stays the same or goes up. That is how the inflation index they're using works. Now, the problem with the current inflation index, the CPI W, is that it does not reflect the cost that seniors are particularly concerned about or seniors experience. And so there are things that are missing in that calculation that is costing seniors a lot of money. including not appropriately factoring in increases in prescription drugs, hospital bills, healthcare in general, and some other bills that seniors are disproportionately impacted by. And so the index they are using is called the Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers. That sounds like something that was invented a long time ago. So, but they're looking at urban wage earners and clerical workers and the costs that affect them, and then they're using it to adjust your Social Security and disability benefits. Well, the thing is that there are some costs that seniors face that are unique to seniors that urban wage earners are not necessarily facing or worried about. And so that is where the mismatch is. And so over the last 15 years, for example, a study just came out recently that seniors have lost $370 in Social Security and disability benefits because your cost of living adjustment has never matched the true inflation that seniors face. The true inflation that seniors face. And so what's to be done? Well, change the calculation. And so that's what they're trying to do. So this bill, I am going to bring you another version of it that is more summarized. And here it is. So the summarized version, let's see, I was trying to share my screen, but I don't know what happened. The summarized version has all the things I've been telling you about. The first one is to extend the solvency of Social Security for 75 years, is to expand the Social Security benefits across the board for everybody by $2,400 a year. So that is the $200 a month that I've told you about. That's the increase you're going to get. That is in that. So that's the second thing that they're trying to do. The third thing is what I'm talking about right now, is to change the cost of living adjustment. So let me read this. The bill would more accurately measure the spending patterns of seniors by adopting the consumer price index for the elderly. So they're going to create a new calculation. Older Americans, by and large, are not going to be out there spending spree buying TVs, laptops, or latest high-tech gadgets. Rather, they spend a disproportionate amount of their income on healthcare and prescription drugs, which will be reflected in the formula for calculating COLA under this legislation. I couldn't have said it any better. It just means that the current system of calculating cost of living adjustment misses the true cost that seniors are impacted by, and it's looking at things that seniors do not really care about or spend a lot of money on. And so this bill will try to fix that and make sure that your COLA actively reflects costs that affects you. So it's designed to help you get more in COLA. And in my opinion, another bill that I've seen that I think should be added to this will put a floor on COLA and make it 3.5%, and it can never go down below 3.5%. So that is what I think will be an improvement on this bill that is already good. It's a pretty good bill, but I think this will be an improvement on it to put a floor on COLA at 3.5%. And then in years where there are high inflation, it can go up. Another thing is it's trying to do is require millionaires and billionaires to pay their fair share into Social Security, and it is by removing the cap and catching a lot of income. So here, what they want to do is that they want to make sure that people who get their income through other sources other than wages, because currently, if you work and you get a paycheck, you have to pay Social Security taxes if you make money up to the threshold. But if you are rich and you get your money through your investments, you don't have to pay Social Security taxes on those investment income. Even though it's income, even though you are taking it as income, you don't have to pay Social Security taxes on those. And so this bill is going to catch more people and bring them into the Social Security net so that they pay Social Security taxes. That's what it's trying to do. And then one of the things that it is trying to do that I also like is to improve the special minimum benefit, which I told you about. That will boost your benefit to about 18,000 and put you to 125% of the federal poverty level. So there are other things that it's trying to do, but these are the basic big points that it is trying to do. So those are the things that are happening that I think have a realistic chance of passing this year into next year. My opinion is that it's going to happen next year, 2026, because the fall calendar is full. And I think that the president and Congress can get it done. And there's momentum to get it done in 2026. That's why I wanted to bring it to your attention. But I want to leave you with something that we just launched. We heard you and now have created a community for seniors age 55 plus. It is off YouTube. So it's not a community on YouTube, it is off YouTube. It is actually on a platform called the school platform. So here's what it looks like. This is me making the announcement video on the school platform, sharing what this community is about. This is something that we've been trying to do for a long time because a lot of seniors have been asking for it, but we haven't been able to find a platform that is tech friendly, senior friendly, easy to use, that can allow us to build a community where people can feel a sense of belonging, can get their questions answered by me and my team, can also get more content out of us. Some of the content I'm talking about is what I've listed here: maximizing your income, retirement living, money saving ideas, part-time job ideas and opportunities for seniors, the best and most up-to-date senior discounts and perks, protecting against scam and fraud, navigating senior living, wellness, health and wellness and aging resources, caregiver and family support. All these things are topics. We have tabs for you to be able to, share what you're up to, what you're doing with the community, to be able to share your wins, to be able to share things you're struggling with. It's meant to be a community to feel like you're seen, heard, and understood by people who are on the same journey with you. And so, in addition to being part of it, we have a weekly special live where I go on a weekly basis and I answer your questions directly. And every paid guide that we release is going to be available to you in that community for free. Currently, we've put about 8 or so guides already there. All those are guides that we sell on our YouTube channel, in our YouTube store. They are all going to be available to you in this community for free. So the first 100 people that join are going to get it at a lifetime lowest price ever. And already we have 65 people that have joined. We just announced it a few days ago. 65 people have already joined. We have 35 more spots left for the lifetime minimum rate that is never going to change. So if you're interested, it's called the Benefits Insider Circle. I'm going to put the link in the comments section below. This is the link. I'm going to put it in the description to this video. Guys, we want to create a community where seniors feel like they belong, that they feel heard, seen, understood, and you can share the journey that you're on right now with people that get it and get you and are willing to grow together, learn together, and get more out of what we provide to help you live your best life in retirement. That is what this is about. I'm really excited that we have 65 people already to get the first 100. We need 35 more seats left at the founding price that's never going to change forever. So I'll drop the link in the comments below. Check it out if it's for you. If it's not, we will continue to come here every single day and give you the best content about Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, food stamps, and anything in and out of Congress that could affect your benefits. We will continue to do that without missing a beat. But this is another elevated experience for something that a lot of you have asked for, and we finally found a platform to do it, is to create a community. And our goal is to really create a huge senior community like it's never been done before, at least not at a level where we want to do it, so that seniors can know that they have a place to go, to be among other seniors in a safe place and feel heard, seen, understood, and consume content that can help them improve their retirement and their retirement journey and share that with others of like mind. So I hope to see you in the school community soon. I'll drop the link in the comments in the description. And until I come back tomorrow with another live, thank you for spending your Monday evening with me. I really appreciate it. If you like what you heard, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you all tomorrow.